Hi, friends and family. I just wanted to come on here and share the energy as I'm experiencing it real time today, and I was compelled to share this awareness. It's pretty deep, which for those of you who know me, I'm Scorpio, so I like to go deep. And right now we've got Pluto in Capricorn at 27 degrees, and where that's transiting, that's in my first house. So that's right on my ascendant, my progressed ascendant, where the planets have progressed to since I've been alive. That's called the progression in astrology. And it's exact opposite right now in Cancer, 27 degrees, the sun. So yesterday after my live that I done, I'm actually here in Seabrook, Texas, and this has been a bit of my office space here at this beautiful park, Fern Gully. This is where I've been really accessing the energy and accessing myself and anchoring in this momentum of content creating and sharing and just stepping more into my astrology. So I had placed, I work with this beautiful quartz cluster crystal that I had been gifted a long time ago, and it's been with me in my travels wherever I've been. It's been one of my companions, right? Because I love, for those of you who know me, I love crystals and stones and elementals, essential oils, things of nature. I love animal spirits. I follow shamanic astrology, so when certain animals show up for me, I know that they're telling me something about self. There's something to pay attention to because all is self. That's another Earth School class that I'm taking about the law of one. And if you want to look that up and see what that means, it's a universal law. It's a precept. And it's pretty interesting, that concept. And I've actually had psychedelic experiences, primarily DMT, where I've actually tapped into this consciousness of all is self and all is one. So once I had that quickening and awakening, that's been part of my journey as really stepping into that. What does that mean, that all is self, all is one, everything around you is you on some level? So going to this square or this opposition happening right now, it's silly, but I'm attached to this crystal. Like, I really love this crystal. To me, I've done a lot of meditations with it. For those that work with clear quartz crystals, they know it's an amplifier. And like I said, this piece was gifted to me. It was special. I had charged it. It had been with me on my travels. And so when I left it here at the park yesterday, I had this awareness like, oh my gosh, I left my crystal on the ground, because I was grounding it and letting some of the energy, because when you hold it, you charge it a lot. So I wanted to discharge some of that energy that I had been amplifying with it. So I left it. And so I came back yesterday afternoon to look for it, and there was actually somebody parked directly where I had left my crystal, so I couldn't get underneath it, and it looked like the guy was sleeping and it was in this work truck. Anyway, I didn't have access. It's been a journey with this crystal. So first thing this morning I came, I said, all right, I'm going to come get this crystal. I missed this crystal. It's, part of me. And sure enough, I get here and it's gone. It's just, it's off to the next chapter of where it wants to be. And I just have to reflect, and there's a purpose to this story, so just be patient, because it's explaining the energy that's happening right now, and it might be happening for you somewhere. But what I experienced, I was angry. I was pissed off. Even though I've been studying this law of oneness, even though I know that all is self, I still felt my human attachment to this crystal, right? And I was angry. First of all, at myself for leaving it. I was angry at maybe the person I'm perceiving that took the crystal. It was a beautiful crystal. And the fact that it's gone, that means somebody has it, right? So that for that split second, I was feeling angry. And the moon is still in Aries right now at 27 degrees, and it's actually squaring the sun. So the square means it's kind of like an uncomfortable energy. It's conflicting. It's a conflict energy when energies are squaring each other. They're not getting along very well. Same thing with oppositions. Oppositions are just not even seeing eye to eye, just completely different frequencies. So the fact that Pluto in Capricorn is opposing the sun in Cancer right now, and of course Cancer rules the family, but it also rules things of the family, like memorabilia. It rules like estate sales, things that you can find in estate sales that were important to the family heirlooms, things of that nature. So this crystal was a family heirloom to me. It was something special. It was something that I had traveled with, cross country all last year, and now that I'm continuing my traveling. So I really had to sit with it, and I had to feel the anger, first off. And I had to go out. I was going to do this live, and I said, no, I got to move this energy through me because I'm still too pissed off. I'm not connected in a way that I want to be connected to be able to share my energy. So what I did is I went and did some yoga. And I know we're approaching the moon coming into Taurus, so it's really about getting into the body and making space for this energy, right? Allowing myself to feel the anger, allowing myself to feel the loss. Like, I really love this crystal. And it didn't have to make sense to me. My mind is like, dude, it's just a crystal. But my heart and my body, I felt attached to it. I felt this longing, like I just wanted my crystal back, right? My inner child, the moon in Aries, it's like, I want what I want. It's my toy. It's my thing. It's my identifier. So when I was able to sit into my nervous system and do some stretches and be in the sun, I did some fallen dafa poses and really just kind of settle myself and say, okay. And I talked to my inner child this way. I talked to these aspects, these planets, like they're sentient beings within me. And I said, all right, what are you really upset about? It's a crystal. You have many, many, many crystals. For those that know me, know that I travel. That's part of like mostly what I have in my possessions. Very few clothing, but mostly crystals in my tools, my sage, and just things that I like to play with, my cards, And when I sat and went deeper within myself, and again, Pluto in the first house showing up for me, it's like, going into myself. And I have to say, too, when I first entered the park, there was a big vulture that was on the light fixture when I first came in. So to me, vulture energy, that's actually one of my totem animals. Vultures I have a lot of respect for. I call them death eaters. And they're also very scorpionic in nature because they do the dirty work in a way. They eat the things that have transitioned or passed away to clean up the environment so that we won't get sick. We won't have these diseases or these decaying carcasses around us. So to me, vultures are to be respected and really honored. And so the fact that I came into the park and I saw a vulture right away, I kind of knew, again, through following a shamanic astrology, that something needed to go. Something was going to transition from my life. I didn't know what. I just know the symbol showed up, but I didn't know how it was going to manifest. And so now after reflection, I can see it's manifesting by me mourning this crystal, the loss, the attachment that I had to this crystal. And why it was so potent and why I felt this loss is because I had identified the crystal as being an amplifier, my energy, life force, my vitality. I actually had been holding the crystal in a lot of my lives that I do here as I'm content creating, and I was feeling the power. I was feeling the amplification, the charge of the crystal. I felt empowered when I held it, right? And so what I was really, as I was deeper diving into myself, I was realizing what I was really feeling was the loss, because I thought I was projecting that my energy source, my power, was because of this crystal. It was in this material form, this thing outside of myself. And once I was able to breathe into that awareness, I realized, I was giving this energy. I was identifying my power with something outside of myself. And as I'm truly exploring this idea of oneness and that all is self, all this crystal was a symbol of my power, of my own ability to amplify, of my own energy centers, of my own light. And I had projected it and I had used it kind of like a binky or a blanket or, something that we use to self-soothe that says, this is what soothes me, having this material thing activates and it reminds me this is who I am, but it's not in the thing. It's inside of me. The thing was just a symbol. And so what I had to really come to terms with and what had to believe and what's dying within me right now is this idea that the things outside of me are more powerful than what's in me. And that's not the truth, because the things that are outside of me are just representing what's happening within me. And what I really was able to step into with, especially everything that's happening with the pandemic and with so much loss. I mean, so much loss, not just loss of life, but loss of jobs and family displacement, homes. I mean, we've been feeling so much loss as a collective. And there's attachment there, right? We are attached to our loved ones. If any of you who have lost loved ones, during this horrendous time period, this dark time period of humanity, I grieve with you and I understand and I hold compassion with you, because I mean, damn, I was mourning a freaking crystal, right? I was like feeling like, man, it sucks. It's like you just have to feel it. You have to feel that mourning, that loss. You have to step into it. And some of us, I mean, that was pretty mundane. It wasn't as intense as it could have been, but we've all had losses, you know, we've all had some serious losses. And so some of us had to step into that even deeper within ourselves to explore that. But I would invite you today with this energy and this awareness, this opposition energy where Pluto wants to transfer. Actually, Pluto is taking something out of our lives. Pluto is the Death Eater. It's the transformer. It's something that needs to go. Again, opposition of the sun and Cancer, from our family, from our history, heirlooms, possibly family members even that we've lost, that we have to step into mourning, into allowance of feeling the loss of that, whatever it is, whether it's a person, place, thing, situation, relationship, whatever it is, and feel it and allow yourself a perspective, right? Allow the mind to come in and perceive what this loss means for you. And I would invite you to explore possibly the law of oneness and the consideration that everything is self. There is no separation. We are all part of this bigger design of something bigger, something more intelligent, more connected than we could ever perceive because of our childhood rearing, because of our feeling of disconnected and separation. Whatever that wound is for you, Chiron, again, Aries, there is this emphasis on this healing, this cosmic wound, which also the wound is our medicine. So it's almost like the venom, which is the loss, attachment, is the anti-venom, is understanding that you really didn't lose anything. It's just transformed, it changed, it shifted. And what has helped me process death and loss is this understanding that there really isn't loss, that when somebody transitions or passes away or what we consider dies, they really don't. They just become something else. Energy is neither created nor energy's neither created or destroyed. It's transformed. And so we're big energy beings. We're electromagnetic beings who are shape-shifting into other aspects of ourselves that we can't even perceive. But there's ways that I trust this universe because of direct experience, again, because of psychedelic experience, because of very spiritual experience. There was no psychedelics. It was just breath work and prayer and really get into these states of consciousness and deep meditation where you can tap into that oneness field. So you don't have to use psychedelics to get there, but there are ways to get there through the breath. Holotropic breath work is a great tool for that. DMT is actually released through the breath and through very intense breathing. So that's something that you can explore and play with. But yeah, that was what was coming in today that I felt compelled to share about the idea of attachment and loss, and that the fact that there is loss happening right now in a big way, in a big collective way, but that we can move through it with a more grace and ease and perspective if we allow ourselves to feel it and not push it aside. If we feel angry, feel angry. You know, I believe there's the 5 stages of grief that most professionals, when you do have a loss in your life, to go through. And I would invite you, if you are needing support in that way, to get help, to get support, to help you through the grieving process. But we've got this sextile happening right now, Saturn, the moon in Aries, and Saturn in Aquarius. So the sextile means that the planets are actually talking, they're getting along, they're having ideas about the ways to navigate this. So Aries is taking action, Aquarius for the collective. What you build for the other, you build for yourself, and you built it to last. And so as we're stepping into this sun coming into Leo on the 22nd, there's creations that want to come through us. But if you can fine tune after the loss we just experienced and after the things that are leaving your life that have to go, whether it be actually material things, relationships, jobs, or even perspectives, you know, thought forms that need to go, that are leaving. What wants to come in, if you can cater it or move it towards that which will serve everybody. Because if we all are connected, which I believe we are, then what you do for the other, you do for yourself. For longevity, for the long haul, for sustainability. So let all your creations be not just for yourself that betters your world and your life and your body and your mind and your spirit, but let it build and create for others and improve others' life. That's what's going to create longevity and immortality. So I just wanted to share this perspective and invite you to explore your own grief process and your own mourning process, whatever that may be for you. And just know that you're not alone, that there are lots of us out there who are experiencing this energy. And if we can share support and nurturance and compassion, while some of us are really going through tremendous loss, that's going to help all of the collective, which will eventually help you heal even more tenderly and profoundly. And let nature take away what's going anyway with as much grace and ease as you can. Thank you for tuning in and watching and listening, and I hope that this helps you for those that are experiencing loss and grief and attachment. And yeah, thank you for your time. Blessings.